Imagine walking into a coffee shop in the 1990s, taking a sip of espresso, and deciding to invest $1,000 in their vision. Today, that small investment could make you a millionaire. Curious about how this happened? Let's dive into the incredible story of Starbucks, its IPO, and the jaw-dropping wealth it created for early investors. Stick around because the numbers will blow your mind. Starbucks' story begins in 1971, not a glitzy corporate office, but in a small store at Seattle's Pike Place Market. Founded by three friends, English teacher Jerry Baldwin, history teacher Zev Siegel, and writer Gordon Boker, the original Starbucks wasn't even about serving coffee drinks. Instead, it sold high-quality coffee beans, tea, and spices for customers to brew at home. The name Starbucks was inspired by the first mate in Moby Dick's, and the founders thought the maritime theme reflected the seafaring history of coffee and tea trading. Even the logo, a two-tailed mermaid or siren, was designed to capture the romance of the high seas. Little did they know that siren would go on to become one of the most recognizable logos in the world. Starbucks as we know it today didn't emerge until Howard Schultz, a marketing executive for a coffee maker company, joined the team in 1982. On a business trip to Milan, Schultz had a revelation. Coffee wasn't just a drink in Italy, it was a cultural experience. Inspired, he envisioned Starbucks not as a place to buy beans, but as a third place, where people could gather, relax, or work outside their homes and offices. It wasn't an easy sell at first. Schultz left Starbucks to start his own coffeehouse chain called Il Giornale, proving the concept worked. When Starbucks' original owners decided to focus on coffee roasting, Schultz bought the company for $3.8 million in 1987. Under Schultz's leadership, Starbucks started expanding rapidly, combining great coffee with an unmatched customer experience. Did you know that one of the first Starbucks stores had a rule against selling coffee by the cup? It wasn't until Schultz joined that they started offering freshly brewed coffee in-store. And the first latte, that came from a customer suggestion at the original store. Starbucks has always had a knack for listening to its customers and turning their ideas into success. By 1992, Starbucks had grown to 140 stores across the United States, and the demand for coffee was booming. That year, Starbucks decided to go public, launching its IPO on June 26th. Priced at $17 per share, Starbucks raised $25 million to fund its ambitious expansion plans. On its first day of trading, Starbucks stock price surged by over 50%, closing at $21.50. This was a big deal for a coffee company at the time. Coffee wasn't the global phenomenon it is now. Investors saw something special in Starbucks, which had already demonstrated strong brand loyalty and a unique business model. At the time of its IPO, Starbucks had a market capitalization of just $271 million. To put that in perspective, by 2023, Starbucks' market cap had grown to over $140 billion. That's a nearly 500-fold increase in value, one of the reasons early investors have such incredible returns. What made Starbucks' IPO stand out wasn't just its financial performance, it was the story behind the brand. Starbucks wasn't selling coffee, it was selling an experience, a sense of community. They made drinking coffee feel like a daily ritual, something you could share with friends, family, or even strangers. Fun tidbit. On the day of the IPO, Howard Schultz reportedly bought coffee for his entire office team to celebrate the milestone. It's a small but fitting gesture from the CEO of a company built around coffee culture. Post-IPO, Starbucks hit the ground running, expanding from 140 stores in 1992 to over 1,000 stores by 1997. Schultz's vision of a global coffee empire wasn't just talk, it was happening in real time. Starbucks entered markets across North America and then set its sights overseas, opening its first international store in Tokyo in 1996. Starbucks didn't just sell coffee, it innovated. The Frappuccino, introduced in 1995, became an instant hit and remains one of the company's best-selling drinks to this day. The pumpkin spice latte, launched in 2003, created an entire cultural phenomenon.
Welcome to Starbucks. What can we get started for you today?
Yeah. Is pumpkin spice back on the menu?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is.
Today, PSL season is as eagerly anticipated as the holidays themselves. What made Starbucks so successful wasn't just its coffee, but its ability to adapt and grow. In the 2000s, they introduced loyalty programs, mobile apps, and even music playlists to enhance the customer experience. By 2011, Starbucks was accepting mobile payments ahead of most retailers. Starbucks also weathered challenges. During the 2008 financial crisis, the company faced declining sales and had to close 900 stores. But Schultz returned as CEO and turned things around by refocusing on core values and customer experience. By 2010, Starbucks was back on track, stronger than ever. Fun tidbit, Starbucks goes through over 6 billion pounds of coffee beans annually. That's enough to fill 13 Olympic-sized swimming pools every year. Their global reach now includes over 35,000 stores in 80 countries. From a single Seattle coffee shop to a worldwide icon, Starbucks' growth is nothing short of extraordinary. Now for the part you've been waiting for, the numbers. If you had invested $1,000 in Starbucks at its IPO in 1992, you would have purchased roughly 58 shares. Since then, Starbucks has had 6 stock splits, meaning your 58 shares would have grown to 6,992 shares today. In 1992, Starbucks stock was priced at $17 per share. As of 2023, Starbucks stock trades at over $100 per share. Multiply that by your 6,992 shares, and your original $1,000 investment would now be worth over $700,000. But wait, there's more. Starbucks also pays dividends. If you'd reinvested those dividends over the years, your total value would exceed $1 million. That's the power of long-term investing and compounding growth. It's not just about the money, though. Investing in Starbucks in the 1990s was like betting on a lifestyle shift. Coffee was becoming more than a morning drink, it was a culture. Starbucks capitalized on that shift, growing faster than anyone expected. Fun tidbit. Howard Schultz likes to say, "We aren't in the coffee business serving people. We are in the people business serving coffee." This mindset is a big reason Starbucks stock has been so successful. Today, Starbucks continues to innovate, exploring everything from sustainable farming practices to blockchain technology for tracking coffee bean origins. If you're sipping a latte right now, you're part of the legacy that's made early investors rich. What can we learn from Starbucks' success? First, look for companies with a strong brand and a clear vision. Starbucks didn't just sell coffee, it sold an experience, creating emotional connections with its customers. Modern companies like Tesla and Peloton have used similar strategies to build loyal fan bases. Second, pay attention to leadership. Howard Schultz wasn't just a CEO, he was a visionary. His ability to adapt, innovate, and inspire was a major driver behind Starbucks' growth. When evaluating investments, look for leaders who can think long-term and inspire confidence. Third, consider scalability. Starbucks started with just one store but had a business model that could scale globally. Similarly, companies like Amazon and Shopify have thrived because they built systems that could grow exponentially. What's a product or service you use daily that could go global? Is there a company you believe has the potential to scale like Starbucks? So, whether you're sipping a latte or researching the next big stock, keep an eye out for opportunities like this. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button for more Millionaire Hypotheticals. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.